Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast and another episode of the End of the Year Awards. This is the AEW End of the Year Awards Part 1. We are going through the Technical Skills Awards for AEW. We wrapped up all three parts of the WWE ones, and now we are over to the AEW ones. If you haven't checked out the WWE ones, go ahead and check all those parts out. All of them are out now on YouTube and Spotify, so check that out. If you don't know who we are by now, I am your host, Josh. As always, joining me is Ruan Wrestling.
Hey guys.
So yeah, we're gonna be going over the technical skills awards for AEW this year. Quite a bit that I have written down for some of these sections. So I was telling Rue before, I have been like crammed with so many things around Christmas time because I've yet to do my Christmas shopping. So I have to find time to cram that in there and do the other two parts of the end of the year awards. So we got a lot going on. But I am trying my best to get content out to you guys as much as possible before the year ends. And if anybody was wondering about like the shorts and YouTube stuff, all that, some clips will be posted later on. So, keep a lookout for that. As always, make sure you guys leave your comments down below. Hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check out the Kayfabe Central website. That's where all my coverage posts, articles, written predictions, all that good stuff are. So go check that out. If you're not in the Kayfabe Central Discord server, then go check that out as well. Build a little bit of community within Kayfabe Central over there. So yeah, all that stuff is linked down in the description. We're gonna jump straight into the AEW End of the Year Awards for the technical skills. Yeah, I guess we could just jump straight into it. So the first section, just like the WWE ones, we have best and worst entrances of the year. So I have a couple written down here for worst. Obviously, the first one I have written down is the CEO theme. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I don't like the whole CEO gimmick. And I've said it before. Mercedes Moné is fantastic in the ring, and she was always able to go in the ring. It's just been the character that I couldn't get behind, and I find the CEO song very annoying. Like I want to mute it every time it comes on. So. I have the CEO theme on there. Um, I have the Young Bucks at All In because I feel like that entrance took too long. Like I get they wanted to have like a cool entrance for All In and a big moment or whatever, but I feel like the entrance just took a little bit too long and it took too long to come to the ring. So that's the only reason I have it under worst. Other than that, it was like a cool entrance, but it would have been cooler if it was just a little bit shorter. So I have that. I have Hook's new entrance theme song. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. Um, I I have Hook on a couple things here actually for the technical skills, and a lot of them are not positive. So yeah, Hook's new entrance theme song, and I wrote down Mina Shirakawa as well. I don't really like her entrance theme or her entrance or anything like that. In terms of who gets the utmost worst, I'd probably give it to the CEO theme. I've been bagging on that all year, so I'm just gonna give it to Mercedes Moné's CEO theme as the worst.
Yeah, I've only got a couple. I said I'm not as in tune with AEW as much. I'll watch Dynamite and I'll watch the pay-per-views, but some things just go past my head. Focusing more in WWE, but I think I've got down some of the Young Bucks one. I think that the All-in-One was one that came to mind. So I think I've got that because I totally agree. It took a while. It's a bit weird. Like I understand what they're going for, but it didn't work for me. And then the main one that I've got and the one I'm giving the world to, we're in the same boat. We both agree. I am not a fan of the gimmick of Mercedes Moné, the wrestler. Hell yeah, fantastic wrestler. But yeah, the gimmick, the entrance theme, everything about it for me is just irritating. It's just a poor man's Gunther. Just saying. I'm going to so much hate for that. I don't get a little. I've gone for money here on the same. But I think the box all is a good show. So's Hooks actually. I don't even consider that, but I'm not the biggest fan of Hooks either. So yeah, I've got to give it for money here.
Yeah, absolutely. On the best side of things, on the more positive side of things, I have it's kind of funny. I have the Young Bucks on the worst for All In, but I have the Broke Bucks entrances on here because those were a lot of fun. I think it was funny how they always kind of like trolled them. I'm glad they didn't carry that on for like too long. And I'm glad that,
Yeah.
they're on the babyface side now and they didn't drag that out too much to the point where it wasn't funny anymore. I feel like they had the perfect time frame of how they kept that storyline going. So yeah, the Bucks entrances. Um, even though I don't like the gimmick aesthetics, Tony Storm for All In was a solid entrance. I liked that one. That was pretty cool. And I literally wrote down that word for word, All In Tony Storm, even though I don't like the gimmick aesthetics. So uh, I've been very vocal about Tony Storm's gimmick all year round. But th her entrance at All In was pretty cool, so I'll give it to that. Um, Again, as much as I don't like the gimmick, the eight royal guards carrying Mercedes' titles at Forbidden Door,
That one.
it was cool, but I don't like how she's made it a usual thing, like just a normal thing now. I thought it was cool for like a pay-per-view entrance, but now that she's doing it consistently, it's not as cool. So, but it was still cool when we saw it there at Forbidden Door. Claudio Castagnoli's theme song. I really like his theme song. It's a really cool theme song, and I think it suits him perfectly. So I have that there. And Hangman Adam Page at All In was a fantastic entrance. So good, man. That was like the clarification of Hangman Adam Page being the main character once again in AEW, and I loved every bit of that. And I'm sure that all In Hangman Adam Page Mox the match is going to be getting a lot of praise throughout these awards as well. Yeah, Hangman at All In terms of who I'd give it to, probably Hangman at All In. I think that was my favorite one of the entire year.
That's very valid. I have that one down as well as a shout out. A lot of these I've also just gone for the wrestler or the group themselves and because they do it multiple times. But as in Hangman in general, I'm a big fan of. I do quite like the cowboy entrance, but yeah, the one at All In, as you said, was like special. I've chucked in Moxley slash just the Death Riders here. It's maybe a bit polarizing to some folk. I actually quite like it, particularly the one at Forbidden Door, I believe. Was that the one that came out in the big truck with them all, including Gabe Kidd?
I
Um,
think so.
I think so. I like it. I can totally understand. I just think the aesthetic's cool, but I wouldn't begrudge someone for not liking it.
Yeah.
One I've chopped in here. He's not my favorite currently in AEW, and I hate saying his goddamn name, but I mean, I cope because it's Edge's entrance, like just simple
Yeah.
as. I got him down. One I've chucked in here as a shout out is Kyle Fletcher, simply because his theme song sang by Hot Mulligan, and I got to see them live actually, and they're very good, and I quite like his entrance theme. So shout out to Kyle Fletcher. The one I've gone for here is because it's just the most like catchy
Oh,
entrance theme, and I think his entrance always really spectacular is Swelth. Swelth Strickland.
okay.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Prince Nana. It's ridiculous, but just the right amount for me. I'm a big fan of it. Always got to sing it when it comes on. So I'm going to give it to Swelth. I thought it'd be a bit different because I had a feeling the Hangman one would. Hangman would be a very close second for me because I had a feeling he was going to get. Hangman's going to get a lot of praise in this, as you said. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Sora's entrance was cool. I like his new entrance theme as well. I think it suits this new, I guess,
Yeah.
version of Swerve Strickland a lot better. But you still have Prince Nana doing the dance, like down the ramp and everything. So yeah. Shout out to the Hurt Syndicate as well. Their entrance was pretty over this year as well. So they get a shout out as well. Honorable mention there. Um, the next section we have about here is the best and worst clothing slash attire of the year. So for under worst, I have Jamie Hayter's attire. I've never been a fan of like what she wears. Um, the I wrote down the Outrunners, but in brackets I put that, but that's the point. So I mean, I
Yeah.
guess at least that's whatever. Um, Pac's singlet. I'm not a big fan of his singlet. It
Oh, that's a good one.
looks a little bit weird. And Mark Davis has a bit of weird gear as well. I think it looks a little bit too generic. So I have Mark Davis down there. I don't know yet who I'm gonna give this to. I want to give it to Pac, but like I probably give it to Mark Davis just because he has the most generic gear.
Yeah, I was actually really struggling with this one for the best and I was actually just I couldn't picture in my mind. So I'm going to give a special shout out, and I probably will. I am actually going to change my answer. I'll tell you what my answer was, but one that you mentioned there, Impact Singlet. Yeah, I do not like it at all. That's a very, very good shout. One I went for, and it's incredibly harsh, I think, because it's not that bad, but it was the first one that came to mind, and I thought it was just kind of like the rip t-shirt. I just went for Mark Briscoe. It's just maybe it's a bit harsh to be true. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a bit generic. The trousers, or he comes out for like a hardcore match with like the ripped t-shirt or whatever. But I will probably, now that you said it, I'm going to go with one of the ones you mentioned and say Pack singlet. It just doesn't suit him for me. It's a bit weird looking.
I think with Mark Briscoe, that's kind of the point with the ripped t-shirt
Exactly.
and all that.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
like
Very
I
harsh.
understand it, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of the same boat as the Outrunners. Like it looks
Yep.
stupid, but it's kind of supposed to be. Uh,
It fits him. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I didn't put Mark Briscoe on here because I did think of that too, but I'm like, no, that's just who Mark Briscoe is.
Exactly.
On the best side of thing, I have Swerve Strickland's Predator gear at Anarchy in the Arena in Double or Nothing. That was
Hmm.
really cool. I love that. That looked perfect with us. With I read a text message and it completely like boggled my mind, so I mixed my words. Um, but that looked perfect for his gimmick. I also have at Wrestle Dream Penelope Ford as Harley Quinn and Megan Bayne as Poison Ivy, and Willow and Harley having matching gear for the first time because it's Penelope Ford as Harley Quinn and Megan Bayne as Poison Ivy. For obvious reasons, that's a good aesthetic. And then Harley and Willow having matching gear for the first time was pretty cool as well. That kind of like solidified themselves as a tag team. And probably not what I'm gonna go with, but I needed to put it on here because I really enjoyed this gear. And it's a bit of a specific one, but Sky Blue from Dynamite on September 10th. I have on here because I've been praising like the Sisters of Sin like all year, even though I have some things on here that may surprise some people. But I really enjoyed that gear from Sky Blue. I'd probably give it to Swerve Strickland's Predator gear though. I think that was really, really cool at Double or Nothing. And it fit like the Anarchy in the Arena vibe and everything. So I'll give this one to Swerve.
Great show. I had 12 down as well for that because that was such a cool bit of gear. And I actually had a feeling you may have gone for it, but I wasn't too sure. So I have gone for another one. No, Sister Sin, sorry. Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford's one. Great shout, by the way. One that I've gone for, it's not that flashy in the fact that, like, like the Predator gear, but I always enjoy it. I enjoy his really dickish looking attires. And it's Kyle Fletcher. Someone who always stands out. He has very standoutish gear. I always know he's coming at the right. I love his look. It's just he's such an arsehole. Like you just want to hit him. And I had a feeling the 12 one might get brought, so I was like, I'll go for Fletcher. Might be a bit different. We shout out as well, though. I absolutely love the Predator gear. Plus, Predator's one of my favorite franchises. Just saying. So yeah, so yeah. No, I'm gonna give it to Fletcher here. And again, the spoiler Fletcher comes up quite a lot, I think, on these lists.
Yeah, I like Kyle Fletcher's gear. It suits him like perfectly, like
Yeah,
a bright pink. I don't think there's a lot of wrestlers that can pull off the pink either. So,
yeah,
I like that. Also shout out to his entrance theme, like you said as well. I like the start of his song where it just yells Proto Star. It's
yeah,
like every great wrestling theme has the first few seconds where you know immediately it's that person, and Kyle Fletcher has that because you
yeah.
hear the Proto Star scream at the start. You're like, oh, that's Kyle Fletcher. So
Exactly.
that's cool. Um, we have the next section we have here is best and worst signature maneuver of the year. So I have a couple written down here. First, I have Eddie Kingston's back fist because I just look stupid, particularly the one on Big Bill. Just was terrible. Um, and I was there live for that match too. So that I don't like his back fist. Bobby Lashley's spear. I don't like his spear a whole lot. I feel like the flip out of it like kind of lessens the impact on the spear, and it doesn't look as impactful when he does it. So I've Bobby Lashley speared here. I've never really been a big fan of the spear and flip. Um, so I have that. Wheeler Yuta's Busaiku knee. because I feel like he just doesn't hit it properly. And like I get that he's doing it because of like Bryan Danielson, and he was a big part in Danielson retiring and whatnot. But like maybe he should just do like the the label lock or the like the crossface or whatever he's calling it in AEW. I can't even remember. I think he calls it the label lock. Uh,
Okay.
so I think he should do that instead of the Psycho knee. The Monet Maker or Money Maker for Mercedes Monet is a terrible finisher as well. I don't like that a whole lot either. And Code Blue from Sky Blue, as much as I love her, it's not a good finisher. It takes too long to set up, and maybe just do a regular Code Red instead because it just doesn't work. Like she messes it up quite often. So as much as I love Sky Blue, I gotta put her on this list because Code Blue is just not a good finisher. I'd probably give this to Bobby Lashley Spear though.
Yeah, so Bobby Lashley Spears one that I had down as well, as you said. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the flip out. It looks less impactful. Yeah, as well as much as we know we love you, we love her. Yeah, I agree. The Code Blue isn't the greatest. Now, one that I've gone for, the reason why I kept it is because it's controversial, and I love a bit of controversy. And it's just something I personally am not a fan of. It's not just his; it's in general the move, and it's the buckshot lariat. Is one that I love a good clothesline. I love it when JBL did the clothesline from hell. Like they wind up, hit some of it. The buckshot looks cool, but as an impactful move, they can stumble over it a lot. Don't get me wrong, sometimes when Hangman hits it, looks great. Logan Paul, please stop doing the move. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
But just in general, the move just I don't feel it's just one for me that's never stuck out and been like, I really like that move. I think considering the the level that Hangman is obviously at, on the roster. For me, I love the Dead Eye or whatever it's called, the Dead Shot. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Love that. But yeah, the buckshot Larry for me is one that just never stood out for me. I've never been a big fan of it. I was keeping that one because like I know some folk might get annoyed with that one.
Yeah, I can actually understand. Like, I like the buckshot lariat, but I can definitely understand that because there's times where even when Hangman does it, he like flips in, but then takes a few steps forward and then hits the clothesline because the
Yeah,
person is too far out. So, I actually do understand that. It's like you said, he does hit it perfectly sometimes, and it looks really cool.
yeah,
Um, but. Yeah, I think that's cool, and I like that he does the dead eye first usually, and then the buckshot lariat. So it's kind
yeah,
of like the icing on top of the cake, and it's not
yeah.
always just the buckshot ending the match. So, uh, I like that he does that. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like I don't hate the move. I still think it looks cool. And if I were able to pull that off, I'd be doing it. So, yeah, I do understand where you come from with that. Um, Also, I'm not gonna give it to Bobby Lashley Spear. I'm gonna give it to Eddie Kingston's back fist. I think that's the worst in AEW. In terms of the best moves and signature maneuvers, I have Swerve's house call on here. The little kick to the head that he does, such a good move.
hmm
I've always loved that. The end of Heartache by Roderick Strong is a good finisher. I like that. I think Shelton Benjamin has one of the best super kicks in the game right now. So I've put that there. He's so good. Athena's O face, aka the Eclipse from when she was in WWE. Always been a really good finisher. Like I still don't know or understand how she pulls that off, but she does, and she does it really well. So that got that on there. Tekla Spider Suplex is really cool. The Rainmaker is cool. I actually do have the Buckshot Lariat on here. So I have that. The Hidden Blade, I love that move, especially when Osprey does it. I know like other
Yeah,
people are starting to do it now, and it just doesn't look as impactful as when Osprey does it.
yeah,
Because Osprey just swings at him. So I have that on there. The 21 Plex from Bandito is a really cool finisher as well. So I like that. And I also have Kyle Fletcher's Turnbuckle Brainbuster on here. He doesn't do it often, but he does it in like big matches, and it's always really cool. Like I know Sami Zayn does it as well, and I think a move like that should be just you know dedicated to like just specific wrestlers and not like everyone should be doing it because I don't think like everyone could pull a move like that off very well because it just looks devastating. Like when Mark Briscoe takes it, it looks, disgusting. So got that on there. I don't know what I'd give this to. I'd probably give it to either uh I'd probably give it to the Hidden Blade, to be honest. I know he hasn't wrestled a whole lot this year, but it's still a really cool finisher. Either that or the Kyle Fletcher turnbuckle brainbuster.
Kyle Fletcher one's a great show. I got three down, and you actually have mentioned all of them in there for me. The first one is funny. I'm glad you said it. I couldn't remember the name of it, but it was Athena's. I just put the Eclipse because I couldn't remember the name of it. That was no matter what your era of wrestling or you're looking at or what rendition of Athena, even if it's Ember Moon, it's such a cool finisher.
Yeah.
Next one, yes, Hidden Blade. I totally agree. The way Osprey does it is ridiculous. The timing on it is so well done. And if you get the right person ahead, it looks amazing. But the one for me that I absolutely love, it just looks so cool, especially when you get proper slap sound added to it. It is Swerve Strickland's House Call. I love that move. I think it's so cool. The way it's just when Swerve did it, but I don't know if it would be as cool if like Wheeler Yuta did it, but Swerve doing it is very cool. So that one for me, I've got in there.
He just doesn't so nonchalantly. Like he'll like just kick your
Yeah.
head off and just like stand there and then Nana will be doing the dance of like, okay.
Exactly. It's so ridiculous.
So the next section we have here is best spot and worst botch of the year. So I have a few things written down. The first one I wrote down like a lot, so because it's kind of specific. So I wrote Thunder Rosa tries to save Chris Statlander and threaten Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford with a steel chair, only for Bayne and Ford to stand their ground and Rosa being awkwardly flustered, not knowing what to do.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
That was really bad, and I think that's gonna take the cake for me.
Yeah.
But I'll go through the other ones. Um, I know he like there was a little bit of heat on it, and I don't blame this person for the injury, but I had to put it on here. The Adam Cole powerbomb from Kyle Fletcher on the apron. I don't think Kyle Fletcher was to blame. I don't think that was the reason that Adam Cole got injured, but that was nasty. That was really, really nasty. Um, Earlier this year, and I don't watch Collision a lot, but obviously I was aware of this. Collision lost the final 30 minutes of TV. So they, I guess, went to commercial and it didn't come back. And they had to like post the final 30 minutes somewhere else and figure some way else to do that. So Collision lost the final 30 minutes at one point. Um, which is insane. So that's more of like a production botch. Uh, Ref didn't get in position for the Brodito tag match at All In, that one spot at All In. That just looked very awkward. So there's that. And then one more recently, the Shelton Benjamin and Mike Bailey ref botch. After a brilliant super kick, the ref botched the pin because I assume Shelton Benjamin was like after the super kick, okay, it's not going to get any better than that. So both him and Mike Bailey were good with the three count, and then the ref just didn't count the three. Which again, like we're going back to the Blake Monroe and Thea Hale thing. Just count the three. Just act like it's a shoot, and if the person doesn't kick out, then sure, that's on them. But then Speedball didn't even want to kick out, so um, yeah. But I am gonna give it to the Thunder Rosa one.
Yeah, it's a great one. I completely forgot about that. It was so awkward. A couple ones I had down, ones you've mentioned was the Shelton Benjamin, Mike Bailey one. I think anything when it comes to pinfalls with wrestlers is always going to move. Said that with the WWE one. It looks bad. I had done the Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole one. As you said, I totally agree with you. It's just an unfortunate incident that happened. And kind of in a similar sense, the one I've gone for, the reason I've gone for it, I mean, it's maybe it's a bit harsh calling it the worst botch, but I think was botch for the severity of it and what happened coming out again. I've gone for the Kota Ibushi leg break with Josh Alexander
Oh, right.
when he
Yeah.
fell off the top. more just because of how serious about all the other ones. I mean, also the Adam Cole one as well was pretty bad, but at the time, we didn't know this one. Obviously, it's put Ibushi out. We're looking at what something like 2 years, maybe he said, um, which is horrendous, and also just Ibushi's general luck with injuries, particularly being in AEW. It was pretty horrendous. And I remember at the time I was both trying to watch it, be like, I don't even know what they were trying to go for or what was meant to happen. So yeah, it was a pretty bad one, so I'm going to put that one in.
For best spot, I have quite a bit written down here. For best spot, I have first the Spanish Fly from Osman and Fletcher off the cage at Revolution, onto the thumbtacks and a bunch of other things. Ridiculous spot. John Moxley takes a suplex on a nail board on Dynamite March 19th, and like the nail board was like stuck in his back, and I was like, oh man,
Oh
like
yeah.
you can't possibly like fake that or anything like that. That's just painful. Um, the Anarchy in the Arena match, Marina Shafir staple gun swerves tongue, was ridiculous.
Mhm.
Um, John Moxley digs Darby's ear at Forbidden Door. Disgusting. Sixth anniversary of Dynamite. Marina Shafir dropped barefoot on thumbtacks. I can't imagine that pain. Darby Allin in a fish tank spot at Wrestle Dream. I know it was a little bit controversial, but I enjoyed it. And like realistically, Sarah's talk, speaking of you, which kids are gonna be up that late watching AEW pay-per-views? But you know what? It is what it is. Um, Hangman disguises as Tony Schiavone on Dynamite. I love that because they did it so well. So I have that on there. They really got me with that one. The Claudio swing on Darby Allin while Orange Cassidy's choking him out at Blood and Guts was really cool. The flaming table spot with Pac and Darby. Claudio launching Darby onto the announce table. Hangman choking Moxley with a chain to win the world title. And Mariah May and Tony Storm wrap their fist in glass and have a like the Sami Zayn and KO spot, the hockey fight. So I got a lot there. I honestly don't know which one I go to. Um, yeah, I really don't know. Maybe the Moxley suplex on a nail board because that was just disgusting. But there's a lot there to pick from.
There's a lot of good ones. I've got a few for most of these because I was like, I don't know what time we have. I've just gone for three of them. Again, two of them you had down, but the one I didn't have is on there. I'll get to it. But yeah, I got the Osprey and Fletcher Spanish Fly because that was ridiculous. As you said, I have the Mariah May and Tony Storm. I kind of just put the match in general, the Hollywood Indie match.
Yeah.
Spoiler that comes up a lot later on. Um, I put that in, but yes, that spot in particular with the glass was ridiculous. The one I've put here in my exact wording is "Fork Man." Fork, the kitchen utensil man, and that is John Moxley. Anything he does with kitchen utensils, particularly being stabbed in the head, there's no way to gimmick that. He
No,
just got stabbed in the head with a
he just
fork and
takes it.
started. He takes it and was just gushing blood.
Oh
Um,
man.
when it came to, and you know me, I am a Moxley boy through and through. As I said last night, I'm too biased. I can't give a unbiased opinion on the man. But yeah, that was one for me. I remember just it was also I think because that it was one of the few times all in, and particularly the death match that my girlfriend asked to watch wrestling with me. And she went, I'll watch it with you, the death match. And I was like, sure. And that was pretty much the first spot of the match. And she was like, what the hell is wrong with this man? And it made me extra laugh. So I've just gone for fuck, man.
Yeah, man, I remember that was so just like there's been so many times I have like had to turn away for a second when watching some of his matches because I'm like, oh dude, oh my gosh. Like I don't know how he does some of the things that he does
No
or
clue.
why he does some of the things that he does. Like you're making enough money, dude. I'm sure of it. And like I love Renee's reactions too because like you
Oh
never
yeah.
know if like she's actually being real or like if she's, playing a little bit of a character. I'd assume there's a lot of realism to it.
Mhm.
And a lot of anger behind it because of what Moxley does in the ring, and you know what, fair enough. Um, the next section we have is most underrated and most overrated. So for the first person I put under overrated, I put Tony Storm. I've been very vocal about that. I don't like the gimmick. I think she has a very like basic wrestling style, like when she's not in like gimmicked matches or stipulation matches. I think she has a very standard wrestling style as well, and I'm not a fan of like the accent. I'm not a fan of like anything that's related to the gimmick. Like even when I watch like older movies and like they talk like how Tony Storm does, it's just like it doesn't sound cool at all. And like the way they dress is not cool. I gotta put Tony Storm on here. Mercedes Moné is overrated because I feel like she's just a little bit too overhyped. I feel like people hype up the CEO gimmick a little too much. I don't, like I said, I don't think it's that good. I won't explain more of that. I hate to do this one. I hate to do it, but I have Julia Hart on here. Um, because she, after her injury, she just hasn't been the same. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt when she messed up the moonsault on I believe it was a Dynamite. She messed it up during the tag title tournament. And like I even tweeted out, I'm like, give her a break. She's still young, she's still learning, which is true. Like she is still young and she's learning. And she has to deal with injuries and all that stuff. But I kind of had to put it on here because she just hasn't been the same since she's come back from injury. I have Hook. I don't think Hook's any good. I like we'll talk about the promos later. But I don't think he has a good promo. I don't think, he's really that good or worth the hype, to be honest. And I think people are just waiting until he goes over to NXT at some point. So, uh, yeah, I got Hook on here. Um, might infuriate some people, but I've Cope and Cage on here. Um, I have Cope on here because he hasn't put a single person over since he's come to AEW. And he's just like he comes back, he just wins everything, and then he leaves for a bit, and then he wins everything again. And then Christian Cage is like I love Christian, I love I love the gimmick, but at the same time, I give WWE hell for keeping like older talent around, and I'm going to do the same thing with AEW because Cope and Cage are like they only got a couple more years left, and there's nothing for them to do in AEW. They're two older guys who are still trying to wrestle. And even like the wrestling itself, it's not as good as it once was, and obviously because they're much older. So I don't think that they should be the main like focus. Obviously, they're not right now, but I can imagine they're gonna bring back Cope and Cage for FTR and that tag title match at some point. So I got them on here, and I got Daniel Garcia on here as well. I don't like Daniel Garcia. I think he's a tad overrated, and it makes me sad because he used to wrestle in Ontario. But this him with the Death Riders, I just don't see how it's working right now. So I got Daniel Garcia on here, but I think ultimately I'm gonna go with either Tony Storm or Mercedes Moné.
Totally valid. A couple of them as well. I've got down. Ironically, I've also got Daniel Garcia. I've never been the biggest Daniel Garcia. I never hated the guy. But it was just never something that was like fully invested in. Completely forgotten the guy's name. I know who. I haven't even. Oh, I completely forgot. I was trying to talk about there. Cope.
Oh,
It completely went for my mind. Yeah, absolutely. I think this year, I mean, we all know how good Edge is.
yeah,
But yeah, is Cope's run in AEW has been weird. That's the only way I can describe it. It's been very weird. I totally agree. He just doesn't put anyone over when he came to AEW. Um,
yeah,
and I've not been the biggest fan of it. I also really enjoyed seeing him and Christian come back together, but the single stuff just hasn't been it for me. But the one I've gone for, and it's the one I think you guess, is Mercedes Moné. So she just the CEO gimmick is just not it for me at all, and that's not like a jumping on the mate. I have never been the biggest, even when it was the boss in WWE was never the biggest fan. Will not discredit the in ring work at all. It's just not for me.
yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. In terms of underrated people, though, people who don't get enough shine, and should get a lot more in the year of 2026. Lee Moriarty, I have on this list because he is so damn good. Very good technical wrestler as well. He doesn't get showcased a lot. He's on Ring of Honor more, and I don't really watch Ring of Honor, but like except for like when it's like before like a pay-per-view or something like that, or whatever the case may be, or if I see a clip or something. And he has had matches on Dynamite and like Collision when I do watch it. So I have Lee Moriarty on here. I know he's a bit older in age, but Shelton Benjamin is still on here. He is just so damn good. And that man does not age at all. He's really good. And I'd like to see him get like a little bit of singles gold in 2026 at least. I wouldn't mind that at all. Um, I put her on here after her match with Mercedes Moné at Ring of Honor and the match on Collision. Red Velvet is very underrated. I think she's a very talented wrestler, and definitely deserves a lot more shine in 2026. Big Bill is underrated as well. I like Big Bill. He's gotten a lot better, and I'm a big fan of his work. Josh Alexander is very underrated, and obviously this is an Ontario wrestling guy as well, so I am always going to back Josh Alexander. Former TNA World Champion. If you haven't seen Josh Alexander's work in TNA or Impact, you should go watch that because he's had some fantastic matches against like Speedball Mike Bailey and so many other people. So definitely, if you don't know much about Josh Alexander, definitely do your research because he is really good and he shows that in AEW as well. So Alexander, Powerhouse Hobbs, I have on here as well. He is very underrated, and I think he should be one of the next in line to win the AEW World Championship. To be honest with you, I think he should be right there. I would have honestly preferred if Hobbs beat Hangman for the title instead of Joe. I would have preferred that a lot more. So yeah, definitely Powerhouse Hobbs. And the last I have on this list is AR Fox, another very underrated person. So good. Like some of the things he does is absolutely incredible. Like I don't think he'll be like elevated to world title status or anything like that. But if you have him as like Swerve's sidekick or something like that, I think that would be cool. And like he'd, put other people over in like big matches or whatever, just be alongside Swerve and be a sidekick or whatever. So yeah, that's my list for underrated. I don't know who I'd go with as the winner. I'll lean more towards Powerhouse Hobbs though.
Some great shouts in there. A couple I've got, and a couple of other ones I've got added here. So I've also got down Powerhouse Hobbs as well. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I've always been a big fan, and you know what? I agree with you. I would have loved to have seen him as AEW World Champion instead. There's me. Shelton Benjamin also go down. I think he's for even in WWE, he's always going to be in the wanted list because he's so good. I've put down Holly Cameron, but also shout out Willow Nightingale, just the Babes of Wrath in general. I adore the two of them.
That's a good one.
They are fantastic. Exactly. One that I've discovered this year that I am a massive fan of now is Mascara Dorada. He's
Yes.
ridiculously good.
Yeah.
And was very close actually for me of taking this title. The one I've gone for is maybe a bit controversial in the sense that I don't actually know if you would even consider him underrated anymore because I think people have really started to realize how good this guy is. But I remember at the start of the year falling in love with this guy. I already thought he was good, but this year in particular, I've fallen in love with him. And I think there's such big things in his future. He's already doing massive things, and that's Takeshita. For me, the guy is ridiculously good. He's always been ridiculously good, but this year particularly, he's just came out of his shell. I think for me, and I've loved pretty much everything that he's done, especially stuff with Okada currently. So good. And that's what I mean. I don't know if he's even considered underrated anymore. He's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. The guy's got a massive future ahead of him. Very close second, no Mascara Dorado. Shout out to him.
Yeah, see, I didn't put Takesha underrated because I'm like, I think this year he just proved that he's so damn good,
Yeah,
and like I don't think anybody thinks he's underrated anymore. I think everybody's just like that. He's perfectly rated. He's
yeah,
so damn good, but it's still a good shout. I think
yeah.
give Takesha as much shine as you can give him. So I won't be mad at that at all. Um, in terms of biggest upgrade and biggest downgrades, I have a couple people written down here for downgrade. I have Anthony Bowens. Man. just completely downgraded this year. They're trying to do the thing with reuniting him and Max Caster, and I just don't know how well it's working. Um, Britt Baker, because I don't think she even appeared at all this year. And if she did, I don't remember it. But I have Britt Baker on here. Christian Cage, I have on here. He started off very well with the whole like father gimmick, and like this year, it kind of just like simmered down a little bit, and he's just been off TV or whatnot. So him, Wardlow. I guess this one may be a little bit unfair because of injuries and whatnot, but like he was brought back and then immediately got injured. So I had to put Wardlow on here. Hook because uh they had the whole like FTW championship revolve around him, and then they got rid of that last year, and ever since that he's just been Hook. There's just been nothing to him. Um and I don't think him with the ops is necessarily working. Um I guess this one might be a little bit unfair as well, but Eddie Kingston, I feel had a bit of a downgrade. I know he's only got a few years left, in terms of how long he's going to be wrestling for, but he hasn't had like a banger match since he's come back, really. And I gotta give it to him. I know it's ring rust. He's been out of the ring for quite some time, so it may be a little bit unfair. But I gotta put Eddie Kingston on here. Hologram. What the fuck happened to him? Um, he just disappeared. So I gotta put a hologram on here. Daniel Garcia as well. I feel like had a bit of a downgrade, and some people may disagree with that because of the whole Death Riders thing. But I just don't buy it. I don't like it. I don't think he's doing that well in the Death Riders. Um, so yeah, and I also have Private Party, who's probably going to be ending up in WWE soon. But if you guys remember, they started the year off as AEW World Tag Team Champions. So definitely Private Party because they just disappeared and are probably going to appear in WWE soon. But that's who I've got for downgrade.
Some absolutely great shouts there. Pretty much all of them I've got here as well. Christian, absolutely, as you said, it was flying high. And it's just kind of peeled off a little bit. Obviously, had the stuff with Cope and everyone turning on him. I've chalked in Josh Alexander here more just because I love Josh Alexander so much, and I want to see him doing bigger things. Maybe a little harsh. As well. I've got Hook, as you said. I totally agree with Hook. He was someone who I thought was really being placed early on in his career to be quite high up on the card, but it does seem like that's kind of just petered out a bit now. And I'm not the biggest fan of him now currently. But the one I've got, one you mentioned, as you said, I don't even know if we've seen her, is Britt Baker, because she was someone who was, the spearhead of the AEW's women's division when they started.
Yep.
And she's just vanished. When this is maybe a question because I couldn't remember, and you brought a good point. But have we seen her this year? When was the Hot and was it the Monet match? But then there was all the backstage incident that happened that Cena get suspended. Was that this year or last year?
Oh, that's a good question.
I couldn't remember.
I believe that was like towards the end of last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, okay. Potentially
Yeah,
then.
I
Could
believe
explain
that's
why I've
when it
not
was.
seen her.
Yeah. I can't fully remember though. I may be wrong about that, but I think it was sometime last year.
Yeah. Either way, I think it's a big one. She's someone who I imagine at some point. Maybe we won't see in NXT, but I don't particularly think we'll be seeing her much more of her in AEW once that got. But our contract's still got quite a while, I believe. It's at least 2026
I
for
think
it.
it's either 26 or 27.
Yeah,
And
so potentially still quite a while.
I think it may be 27
Okay.
from what I know. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that contract situation works out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um In terms of upgrade, though, some people who've had a better year this year, funny enough, I got Max Caster on here. I think that gimmick really saved them a little bit, and it was like the catchphrase was stupid, but it was catchy at the same time, and people wanted to chant it. So I definitely give that to Max Caster. Bandito had a great year this year as well. I had to give it to him, and as well as his tag partner Brody King. I put him in here as well because it's such an odd pairing to put those two together, and it just worked out really, really well. So they had a big upgrade this year. Kyle Fletcher as well had a huge year this year. The TNT Championship. So many good things that Kyle Fletcher had this year. So he's on here. Kyle O'Reilly as well had a great year. Ricochet had a great year as well. Obviously, the national champion. Harley Cameron, who we mentioned earlier, is on this list. She had a big upgrade. Marina Shafir, Nick Wayne. I know he's injured right now, but like he still had a big year involved in the Christian Cage thing, and he kind of like solidified himself as the main character of that storyline. So I had to put Nick Wayne here, and Nick Wayne's got so much potential. He's so damn good. So he's on there. Luchasaurus, because Jurassic Express is back together. And he's back in his, where I think he strives best, alongside Jack Barry. So definitely Luchasaurus. Chris Statlander winning the AEW Women's World Title this year. Absolutely deserved. So she's on here. And the AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page, as well, had a fantastic year. A much better year this year than he has had in previous years. So that's my list of upgrades. I'd probably have to go with Hangman Adam Page on this one or Kyle Fletcher. But those are the two I'm bouncing between.
Again, I also this always happens the same with all AEW predictions. Like AEW seems like quite a linear company, and that's not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
everything's so good. So he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
everything you've said, I've got down here. Ricochet also has been a great upgrade. Chris Statlander going up to the AEW Women's World Champion. Luchasaurus and Jack Perry going back to Jurassic Express, absolutely. Chucked in there. Holly Cameron, as you said, I'm a big Holly Cameron fan. Kyle Fletcher was not Kyle. No, I've given away my final one. I meant to say Kyle O'Reilly.
Too many Kyles.
Kyle, too many Kyles. Kyle O'Reilly was great getting to see him get a proper pay-per-view match with Moxley. That was class. But yes, I've gone for Kyle Fletcher. I think this guy's very much been eyed up as the future of AEW. With and he's had a great AT&T title run. His whole everything about him, his presence, his look, everything, his in-ring style is incredible. He's had a fantastic year, so I'm going to give it to Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, great shouts. Um, In terms of ring work, best and worst ring work of the year, I've got only a couple people written down. I have Chris Jericho written down because he is just not the same as he used to be. He's much slower now, and I get it comes with age, which doesn't make me excited for his WWE run, whatever he does in the WWE. But I have Chris Jericho on here. And it's very funny because when he was doing the Lionheart gimmick, he got in great shape and was putting on pretty solid matches. And then after that, it was just he gave up. So I got Jericho. Um, I wrote down to an extent Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. I don't think that they had a great in-ring year, especially Max Caster. He didn't get to showcase a lot this year. He just kind of put people over more of the time. And Anthony Bones was just having basic matches on Collision, so nothing too special there. Hate to do it again, but Julia Hart hasn't been great this year, so I have her on here and Anna Jay. And Anna Jay is an interesting one, and maybe a bit harsh because Anna Jay is cool, but um, she you can tell that she has the passion for this, and that's always a good thing. But she's been there for a few years now, and she just doesn't seem to like get the mechanics down yet. And maybe like AEW lets her go toward the indies for a bit, and maybe she ends up like wherever else, or maybe like AEW keeps her but just lets her go like toward the indies to see what she can work on and get better because there's no questioning the passion. You can tell that Anna Jay has the passion for wrestling. It's just about getting the mechanics down and becoming an actual good in-ring wrestler. But I think I'm gonna give this to Jericho ultimately.
Jericho's a really good show, actually, completely. skipped over him. A couple I've got here. I've got Christian down as well. I think it sounds been some of the old heads. Christian. One that I've put down in many, many asterisks around this one. Because if we're just talking about technical in-ring work, and I know people would comment on it anyway, um, I've put, and it saddens my heart, I've put Moxley
Hmm.
because he doesn't. If you're talking just technical in-ring wrestling, that's not his style. Now he tends to wrestle matches that fit his style. Obviously, the death matches, I quit matches, and that is fantastic. I love all that. But I know people will get onto it because they will say he isn't the greatest in-ring technical wrestler because he's not. He's a brawler. He's a brute. That's what Moxley is. So I have put Moxley down here just to so I could at least say it. So I'm not glazing Moxley too much because I absolutely love the man. But I've also put down Cope. Um, and he Cope's the one I think I might potentially go for. It just comes with age. It's what you see it in everyone bar Rey Mysterio because the guy's ridiculous. Um, it just comes with the age. I think Jericho's actually a very good show that I did forget about. Um, yeah, it's just not been the greatest years. Slowed down a lot. I'm tempted actually almost to swap and go with the Jericho now that you've actually said that. And I might agree with you there.
Yeah. It's very funny because one of the people I have under best in-ring work is John Moxley.
Yeah,
I like the style. I like the style
yeah.
that he brings. I don't think if he brought like the Dean Ambrose type character to AEW, I don't think it would have worked.
Mhm.
And like he has been very open about like training in MMA since he's gone to AEW and like the jiu-jitsu training, and I don't mind it. Like I love a good technical wrestling match, and um like I get it's not like the most exciting and like sexy thing to like watch a lot of the time, and like but I think Moxley's great. I love his in-ring work. So I have him down here. Hangman Adam Page as well. I have down for best. He's really good. Like obviously AEW World Champion. There's nothing else you can say about Hangman Adam Page. Kyle Fletcher as well, who's going to be getting a lot of praise, like we said. So good in the ring this year. Had some of the best matches. Will Ospreay again had some of the best matches. I think he's going to be on this list every single year. Like, I think obviously like it's very subjective, but like I think objectively, Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world because he's so good. Like he knows how to do every single thing. So Osprey, Chris Statlander has been really solid this year as well. Um, Mercedes Moné has been really good in the ring. I've mentioned she's really good in the ring, and she's put
Yep.
on some great matches this year. And it's just a gimmick, but she's on here. Athena has been really great in the ring this year as well. And Bandito has been fantastic as well. He's put on some great matches as well. So that's my list. In terms of who I'm going with, I'd probably just have to go with Osprey.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would deny that one is Osprey at the end of the day. As you said, his technical work speaks for himself, which is good because I'm not always the biggest fan of his attitude, but I do enjoy his in-ring work.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to the best, I've said I've got down Fletcher. Chucked in some Okada as well. He's always fantastic. Osprey's obviously in here. Hangman, Ricochet, Bandito, Chris Statlander. I chucked in the Babes of Wrath as well. I thought they've done amazing this year, but the one I've gone for, or the one I've enjoyed watching every single match of his this year is Takeshita. Again, the guy is absolutely ridiculous. In there, but him, Osprey, for anyone here, it's very hard to write these lists for AEW. It's very,
Yeah.
very
I,
hard.
I completely forgot to put Takeshita on my list as well.
Exactly. It's so difficult.
Yeah. So definitely some solid picks there. For best and worst mic work of the year. Now, this one's a bit interesting, because I have a bit written down for worst. First, Tony Storm. I mentioned earlier, I don't like the way she delivers promos or how she sounds or anything like that. It's just pretty annoying to me. So Tony Storm, Anthony Bowens, I feel like is just too generic on the microphone and his promos. Mercedes Monet as well. I hate the laugh as well. She needs to stop doing the laugh. Like I get if like she's beating up an opponent and she does it, then she does the laugh. That would be cool. But she just does it when like it's her way of saying in promos. So I don't like it. Um, Daniel Garcia has not been good on the microphone this year either. I don't think he cuts good promos. Jack Perry, I don't think he's very good on the mic either. He just doesn't have a good delivery, in my opinion. So I put down for this one, cool Kyle O'Reilly. Because I don't like that at all. Serena Deeb as well, I have on here. She's always been just more of an in-ring wrestler and never a microphone kind of wrestler because she's never had good promos, in my opinion. Um, I'm sorry to do it again. Sky Blue has not been great on the microphone, and as much as I like the Sisters of Sin, it's too many S's, God. Um, and I like the aesthetic, obviously for like other obvious reasons as well. But I don't think that Sky Blue's promo style fits it. I feel like it's a little bit off. Like you have Julia Hart who like has had this dark gimmick before, and Tekla obviously speaks the way that she does. And I feel like Sky Blue just kind of out of that, and I don't really know what they got to do to change that because I don't want to see her out of the group, but at the same time, like you got to figure a way to make it make sense a little bit and like have the promos be good with her in it. So I have Sky Blue on there. And Hook, I mentioned earlier, I don't think he's good on the mic either. I think that he should honestly, and like I mean this seriously, and it sounds mean, but I think he should just go back to not talking and say like one word, because he's just not good on the microphone. When they started to have him speak, it's just, oh man, this is not good. So that's my list for worst on the microphone.
Yeah, I really struggle with this list, so I think a lot of the ones you said they'll definitely a share. I've only got three down, two of them are very harsh. Yeah, I've got Hook on here as well. I think I agree. I think he's better going back to not speaking. The two that I went with very harsh because I was trying to think of just really, but like things that I didn't enjoy listening to, and these don't even come from in-ring promos. They come from like backstage and like pre-show promos, and I was a bit like, and it's really harsh here, so bear with me. I've got Queen Aminata and I've got Tekla in here, and I've gone and I've put Tekla. It's just the style and the delivery. I don't think it's the worst thing on the planet. I was just really struggling with this one as one I very, very found hard. Um, it was just on some of the pre-shows I remember being on. I wasn't the biggest fan of the delivery. I thought it was quite almost like Ilya Dragunov-esque, some of the way she speaks. And it wasn't entirely for me. I will hold my hands up and say this was a little harsh, potentially, but I would put Tekla in there. I feel bad.
Fair enough. I mean, like she's not the best on the microphone, but like I like for me, she's not the absolute worst either.
Yeah.
But I do kind of understand that in a sense because there are some times where she cuts a promo and be like, okay, like it's
Yeah.
just not. Sometimes it doesn't have a lot of meaning to it, so I can understand that.
Yeah.
Um, for best, I have Don Callis. So good on the microphone. He's so good at
Mm.
being a heel. So I got Don Callis on here. Mark Briscoe because he's just so authentic on the microphone and he's very relatable. Um, Harley Cameron as well has been great on the mic. She always knows how to deliver an entertaining promo, and Willow Nightingale as well is good on the microphone. So I have her on this list. Hangman Adam Page is always great on the mic, especially when he's fired up. Kind of similar to like CM Punk, and I know I just compared Hangman and CM Punk. Sorry, guys. But uh, yeah, I think especially when he's fired up, Hangman cuts really good promos. Will Ospreay as well, similar to Mark Briscoe because of the authenticity. I feel like he's very authentic in his promos. Like when he cut the promo about like after the steel cage match when he was on the phone with his girlfriend or his wife, and his like wife was like yelling at him for jumping off the steel cage. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. So it's like authentic. So I like Osprey. John Moxley has had really good promos this year, I feel. He's been really good as well. Especially with the whole build towards the Hangman feud and the Darby stuff. He's been really good. It's just like that dark, um, it's that dark maniacal style that he has that I really like. So there's that. I think I have to give this to Don Callis though.
Doghouse is a great show, actually, one I didn't even consider. But it's funny because I went with someone else in a similar fashion who isn't an England competitor as well, chucked in here, but he's a great shout. I think most of I've got down Osprey. I got down Kyle Fletcher as well. He's such an arsehole on the cat on the mic. Samoa Joe, just Joe. I always love seeing Joe do anything. Mark Briscoe, as you said, Hangman. Got down Moxley. I absolutely love that's where you think some of his strongest work is. And then speaking of Moxley, I've also got down Renee Paquette for the reasons you brought up earlier. I love when you in the pre-shows when it's particularly talking about a Moxley match. I think it was specifically the I Quit one with Darby. Where she just, I honestly, genuinely think it might have been a shoot promo she did. It was so good. Um, I love her in that sense. I think she's fantastic. Particularly when she's talking about Moxley, give or take when she's just doing the general commentary or anything else, but when she's talking about Moxley and it being a husband, I think she goes very much into her own there. The one I've gone for here is just he reminded me once again. We've also not seen him for a while. Coming back this week, it is MJF. The guy is just undeniable with that mic in hand. Some of the stuff I think he did this year actually in CMLL with Mystico was been incredible as well. The guy, every he knows how to make me laugh and just tickle my right buttons when it comes to wrestling. I absolutely adore him on the mic. This weekend particularly is kind of fitting talking about, well, the last week talking about MJF and his return, just berating Swerve, Hangman, and Joe. The Diddy line absolutely killed me, which is great. The bit referring to Samoa Joe's tattoo in TNA, which was great. I adore MJF on the mic. I absolutely do. I'm going to give it to him. There was been like some amazing talkers this year actually on the mic and some amazing promos.
Absolutely. I apologize. My mic decided to just give up on life and just drop. So I don't know if anybody like heard it or if like the it caught. But I apologize for that if anybody heard it. Um, but yeah, very good shouts there. For sure. Um, I feel like we just breeze through these things because we're on the last section now.
Yeah.
Best and worst matches of the year. So I think AEW did a really solid job at putting on some good matches this year, because that's
Mm.
mainly what they're known for anyway. But they did have some pretty like big stinkers this year as well, including Claudio Castagnoli versus Jeff Jarrett on Dynamite. Was a terrible match. I didn't enjoy that at all. Um, Chris Jericho versus Dax Harwood on the episode of Collision. I did actually watch that match, and that match was just not good. I mentioned Chris Jericho is one of the worst in-ring workers this year, and that kind of just proved it. Eddie Kingston versus Big Bill was not a good match either. I didn't like that. And I put John Moxley versus Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage technically at a Revolution. Terrible ending. I didn't think the match was any that good either. It was a very generic match. And then I hate that AEW did the cash in because fuck that's a WWE thing. Just stop it. So I hate that they did that. Um, but yeah, I had that match and like I think everybody knew that Claudio versus Jeff Jarrett wasn't going to be good or I'll probably give it to the Moxley Cope and Cage match at Revolution.
That was very interesting. So I've only got down two because I like you. I was kind of struggling to remember them, and particularly some of the ones from like Dynamites and that I've just completely lost out my memory. So it's more the big pay-per-view one. So I also have down Eddie Kingston and Big Bill. Specifically because I mean, spoiler for later on, All Out was one of my favorite shows of the year. I remember that one very much kind of stuck out to me. When watching it. But the one I've gone for is, and I actually forgot to add in, I guess, the question, but is also John Moxley versus Cope. AEW Revolution, again, quite spoiler, is one of my favorite shows of the year. Will it be my favorite? Find out. It's one of my favorite, but that match, that ending, really put a bit of a stinker on a low point on it. It wasn't good at all. I mean, the match itself was, I think, fine. It wasn't that amazing, but it wasn't, I would say, bad. But I think the ending really put a stinker on it, particularly with the Christian cash in. And like it was very WWE-esque. And I think a lot of people pointed that out and like, what the hell? This is not very much like an AEW style and what they're doing. I wasn't a fan of it. So, fun enough, I have actually got Revolution, so I'll give you the exact same here.
Yeah, that was terrible. And I highly doubt anybody from AEW is going to watch this, but stop doing cash-ins. It's a WWE thing. Stop doing it. Do your own thing. And that's why I like the MJF thing where he
Yeah.
called a shot ahead of time. I'm like, yes, that's what you should have done before, but no. So there's that. In terms of best matches of the year, I can imagine you have a fairly long list as well. So I got a lot, so I'll kind of like somewhat breeze through these. Uh, Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page at All Out, fantastic match. Being there live for it, I was losing my mind because I couldn't believe I was witnessing this in person. So there's that. Little bit more of a recent one, but Kyle Fletcher and Mike Bailey on Dynamite recently in the Continental Classic. Oh my God, one of the best TV matches on Dynamite of all time. I don't care. That was so damn good. Um, Ospreay versus Takeshita from this year as well was a really good match. Mercedes Moné versus Athena. Kyle Fletcher versus Briscoe at Full Gear. I love that match and the emotion that went behind it. Tony Storm versus Mariah May at Revolution was a great match. Bandito versus Takeshita at Supercard of Honor. I did manage to watch that match and it was really good. The Lights Out match at Forbidden Door. Ospreay versus Fletcher at Revolution. And the Anarchy in the Arena match was really good. The Owen Hart final between Hangman Adam Page and Ospreay. Okada versus Omega at All In. And of course, John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page at All In. So that's my list. I don't know which one I'm giving this one to. It would probably be like the Moxley and Hangman match, just because like the panic you see in John Moxley's eyes as he's getting choked out, and then the final tap and the place explodes. Probably that match because of the story that went behind it, Swerve helping Hangman, and everything that went into that, and the dethroning of the Death Riders, the opening of the briefcase, finally seeing the AEW World Title again. I think that was just written perfectly.
Absolutely. I would not disagree with any of those there. I tried to keep this. I could have written a list a mile long here, so I tried to keep it as
I just kept
simplified as
going. I was
possible.
like, oh man, that match was good.
Exactly. That's the thing, AEW. I know it's not like a thing we do AEW versus WWE. We don't try to put that, but AEW is definitely for me being the promotion of the year. When it just comes to match wise, it's everything's just been quality pretty much. So for me, yeah, as you said, Mox and Hangman all in. I wouldn't begrudge anyone having that as the match of the other match of the year. Sorry, it was incredible. One of the ones I got down here, I did Osprey and Fletcher Steel Cage. Um, got both the blood and guts matches. I really enjoyed them. Hollywood ending match, man. See, when I first seen that, Mariah May and Tony Storm, I didn't know if I thought it was a shoo-in for the year. I thought, yeah, it'll be this one. For me. But two matches came out above that. And it's funny because the match I'm about to say for the longest time was my match of the year. Even after my actual match of the year, I still was like, I think it's still this one. Until the last week, where I went and rewatched both of these, I've now flipped my decision on which one's my match of the year. I literally commented on someone's TikTok actually asking for my match of the year, and I gave the one that I'm not about to give to my match of the year to, because it's quite a recent change. But these two are so close for me. So the one that just misses out, but was my match of the year for a long time, was Hangman and Ospreay in the Owen Hart Cup final. What a match! So good. Um, I mean, what can I say? It's Hangman and Ospreay, and one, and I've just been rambling. I actually don't know if you included it on your list here. But there was something about this match. It was so brutal. It introduced me to a new wrestler who I've since fallen in love with, and that is All Out's triple threat Takeshita Okada Mascara Dorada. That is my match here. I think I even said it to you that night on WhatsApp. I was like, this might be my match of the year. And at the time, even after watching it, I still thought it was Hangman and Osprey. But I've gone back and watched both matches in the last week. Both are incredible. That triple threat, man. Oh, it
Yeah.
just it hits the right veins inside of me. It tickles me perfectly. I'm gonna give it to the three of them.
That was a really good match. And like obviously I was there in person for that one as well. And like, oh my gosh, man. It was
Ridiculous.
so good. Like it, as Wade Barrett would say, it tingled my loins as well. Like it was so good. I'd probably give the edge, like if I was in your shoes, I'd probably give the edge to the Owen Hart Cup final.
Yeah.
But it's a very good shout and one I completely forgot to put on my list as well. Um, yeah, so that's our match of the year. And we there was a lot of good matches this year. So
Oh yeah.
if we did forget some matches, excuse us, but sometimes we don't have the best memory sometimes because there's just too much wrestling, especially because of all the wrestling that I cover. I can't remember everything, guys, so I apologize. But if we didn't mention something that you guys do remember, make sure to let us know down in the comments below as well, whether you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify. Make sure you guys let us know your thoughts, your all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Anything that we may have missed, let me know down in the comments. And make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. This has been part one of the AEW End of Year Awards. Next will be the Writing Awards, whenever we find time to record that. Rue, you want to let them know where you can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me Bro on Wrestling on TikTok and YouTube. Post well, pretty much every day, not all the time. Not today, ironically enough. I will be I will be live again tonight, actually watching WWE's NXT. Um, and I will apparently be acting as the Netflix spokesperson again. Let's see how that goes. When it comes to it, but I'll be live tonight, so you find me Bro on Wrestling on TikTok.
Speaking of NXT, I do not have my spoilers post written up just yet. I'm gonna try to get that done after we finish recording here. So for anybody that is interested in spoilers for NXT, that'll be up on the Kayfabe Central website at some point today, hopefully. So make sure you guys keep a lookout for that. And make sure you guys don't go join Rue's live as well. And if you do know spoilers, do not post the spoilers in Rue's chat, guys. You know how many people pissed me off in Rue's chat last night? That I just had to keep my mouth shut. Stop posting spoilers in live chat for people that don't want spoilers, okay? It's not cool. It's not funny. Stop doing it. I'm gonna say it so I have to say it. But stop
It's a
doing it.
good show, and also the thing is on Netflix. Just use your eyes; you'll find it there. I don't know how many times I had to say that.
Yeah, if you are international, you get all the WWE stuff. If you are in the United States, you only get Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It's that simple. And if you can't find it when it's pre-taped, just close your app and open it again. It'll be there. It's not, they're
Yep.
not gonna take off NXT for like one or two people for no reason, okay? It's there, guys, okay? So don't go harass Rue and talk about like, oh, is it on Netflix? Of course it's on Netflix if you're international. So I had to get that out on Rue's behalf.
Oh, but same.
So, but with that being said, we will see you guys on the writing awards for the AEW End of Year 2025 awards. And until then, I will see you guys there. Take it easy.